are, oh, there we go. We are now on air. So welcome, guys, to Entrepreneurs Roundtable. It's been, what, like over 2 years since the three of us did this together, right? And it's been a year and a half since Mike and I did this.
No, man. It was a year ago. That was the last time that you and I did this. Because it was, I was at my office in Jersey.
Okay,
yeah.
So a year ago. That's right, because after I moved out to Virginia, we did for a few months. We still kept these going, and I've been here almost a year and a half, which is weird to say. And then, it's been a little longer since Gideon was in them. He kind of was taking over the family business and got real busy. And then with time zones, us both on the East Coast, actually, it was hard for us to even do it. So, anyways, it kind of all got real busy. But we're back. I think it was Gideon who messaged us and said, "Hey, let's do an end of the year thing." So I'm actually going to turn it over to him and let him introduce the topic, because he's been, if you've been following him on the Facebook group, he's really been into this the last few weeks. He's been going through this Tools for Titans book, and he decided to get us together to discuss this a little bit, the idea. So why don't you introduce what we're talking about today, now that your mouthful of presumably coffee.
Good timing.
Presumably.
Well, it could be tea, or, it could be something else. So.
A little bit of Bailey's. No. I just thought, it's the end of the year, and I just had this idea. I was like, for these past few days, I've been, I guess, doing like a little soul searching, or trying to really figure this shit out, right? Like, instead of just winging it, because I've been doing that for like the past 3 years. And I just thought it was a great topic. I mean, we haven't done this in so long, and it's the end of the year, and why not, like, the three of us get together and just, talk about goal setting.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have your own plans, right?
Yeah, totally.
I know Mike is like super detailed with all his spreadsheets.
I am.
So
I'm Mr. Spreadsheet.
Where are you, by the way? You look like you're in like a co-working office, Mike.
Wait, what did Gideon say? Oh, we lose him?
Oh, he froze.
He froze. Yeah, I am in a co-working space in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's actually, it's pretty dope. It was just, when I started traveling a couple years ago. Am I still going? Who's in and out?
I hear you.
All right,
Gideon's in and out, but I hear you.
When I started traveling a couple years ago, this is the first place. I stopped here like 2 weeks in. I think it was like 2 weeks in. I stopped in Raleigh, and I actually worked here. I did like this montage video when I was traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part where I'm in this like office space, and I'm setting up my camera, and I got the gnarly goatee thing going on that I had, which was awful. It's like, it was here. And so when I came back, I was like, oh, I definitely got to sign up for this place. But yeah, that's my story.
Cool.
Great. So what's the question?
No, you answered it. I was just, if you like your environment where you were. So are you back, Gideon? I'm going to guess no. We can see you.
Yeah, man. Where
you
you
look
at?
Frustrated, like you're figuring something out.
God, Google Hangouts. You figure it would have figured its shit out by like this point.
I feel like it hasn't changed honestly at all. At least it's dependable. This is the exact crap we've gone through every single episode.
I know.
Forever.
Yeah. So why don't we just keep it going? And since I know Nick Barry has us on like a 62-inch screen TV.
Can you imagine our faces on a 62-inch TV? That's just
awful. Yeah, man. So why don't I start with you, man? Like, I have no idea what you're even up to. I think the last time you and I spoke was, I mean, you and Gideon had like some kind of back and forth on Messenger a while ago, but before that, I think it was literally last December. So I know that like you're in Virginia, you're in Richmond. Mm-hmm. I was in Jersey at the time, so I got to Raleigh. You're still in Richmond. You've got like your third kid who you had prior to moving to Richmond, right?
No, he was born here in Richmond. He's our only Virginian baby.
Oh wow. So what are you up to, and like what are your goals? Like, just kind of get like a refresher, because you kind of pop in here and there in the group.
I'm the ghost.
You basically started this, like you started this, and then you like just became like the guy who watches. And
yeah,
then you like post something.
I jump in to like knock people down when they get crazy. Like, Gideon will be like, oh, hey, that's not cool. And they're like, well, forget you. Who do you think you are? And I'll come in and be like, this is who he is. See ya.
Yeah, I hate Gideon. Oh, wait, there he is. I'm just kidding.
Are you there?
Wait, sir, somebody seriously needs to come with the group video calls.
What?
I can hear past 5 minutes of your guys' conversation.
You sound like Max Headroom.
Something about the last 5 minutes of our conversation. What about it?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we were just Mike was catching up, and then
I basically asked Jared. I
said,
said to Jared the last time I spoke to him was like a year ago. I was in video, and then you and the three of us had spoke here and there. And now Jared, I was like, bring us up to date, and then like go into your goals for the year.
Yeah, we may have lost him again, so I'm gonna give him a minute to figure that out, and I'll just go into my stuff. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. I mean, we moved over 3,000 miles, which you kind of have an idea what that's like, except for we went straight. You kind of stopped all over the place.
Yeah.
And so last December we'd been here just for a few months, and we'd just gotten our stuff unpacked by then because our stuff came over later on storage. And so last time we did one of these, everything was really up in the air. This last year's been pretty busy. We had our kid, Oliver, in January. Nice. So we've had him for almost a year now. Next month will be his birthday. And yeah, it's just been crazy. I took a few months off of. I wasn't doing entrepreneur thing for a while, just between having the kid, and I had a bunch of freelance stuff I was trying to catch up on. And then didn't do that for a while. Kind of spent the summer just doing my own thing. Experimented with some niche stuff. Tried to start up a little niche thing. Decided that was more frustration than I wanted to do. The market I picked loved the idea of the product, but didn't have any money. So, classic mistake right there.
Yeah.
And so the last couple of months, I've just gotten back into freelance copywriting, a little bit of video. I don't like to do too much video because that's kind of like my thing. And it makes me mad when clients say they want to change. It makes me want to punch them in the face. Versus copywriting, I don't get offended at all. I have no problem to be like, yeah, I can change that, or this is the, negotiate. This is the reason why it needs to be. But like, if there's a video thing, like they want to change, I'm like,
changing text on a piece of paper though is like, so it's like, highlight, delete, type new words. Video is like hours and hours of doing this because they want to have their dog be a mascot in the video. You're like, fuck.
Favorite thing too is like, oh, hey, yeah, thank you for redoing that and re-rendering that. Oh, but remember that really weird, didn't make a lot of sense technical requirement? Yeah, can you re-render it again with that weird thing? I was like, oh crap, I totally forgot that you want this video to look like garbage. I got to go back and like I just did a video for a guy where he wanted HD. Listen to this. So he wanted HD to be super small file size because it's gonna be like the background of the website. So I kept suggesting, okay, look, let's keep the quality, but just drop it down to SD. I mean, it's a website. Most people are watching on their phone. Like 720 by 480 is going to be fine. It's like, well, we need it HD, but it has to be like 5 to 6 megabytes. So what I ended up having to do is dropping it down to like 1.2 megabits per second encoding. So it's like chunky, blocky. And I'm like, so now your video looks like Minecraft or something. Like the encoding was so low. But yeah, versus copywriting, it's like, oh, I spelled banana wrong. Okay, well, hold on. Boom, here you go. Or I've never spelled banana wrong, but you know what I mean. Just
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you totally have.
Well, yeah. At least I know how to spell my swear words, right, Mike?
Wait, what'd I do when I swear? What did I mess mine up?
In the group, you were like, you were preparing and you forgot, and you're like, oh, let me correct this. So anyways, how about you, Gideon? Like last I heard, like you were like really busy with the dry cleaning business, and you kind of completely dropped out of doing client work. So what's been up with you?
Yeah, you jerk. Just kidding.
I'm actually working with Kevin Oldham right now.
Ew, hate that guy.
I love that guy. He pays me. I love him.
Nice.
He has no qualms about paying. So
what are you doing there?
Just helping with the client project.
Okay.
Copywriting, basically. Writing emails.
Man of many words.
Yes. Sorry, man. I'm like still trying to catch up here. Like I'm having a lot of internet difficulties right now. So like you guys keep dropping out, or it's like stuttering a lot. So regarding the cleaners, yeah, like I'm like they're like not full time. Like I hired another employee to basically do what I do. So I'm there like 2 or 3 hours out of the day, right? And this guy's like golden. Just like takes care of everything, like super. He's He's really smart, learns quickly and stuff like that. So like we have him closing out the store. So that like saved me a bunch of time.
Nice.
But as far as mechanical difficulties, like our dry cleaning machine broke the other day,
Awesome.
right? And we're like, fuck, and then we got it fixed. And then there's another thing that's like that needs to be replaced on it soon. And it's like, dude, like this shit is just eating money, you know? And it's like we have like such low profit margins. Like I am the lowest paid employee there.
Makes sense.
Just so I can make sure that so that everybody else can get paid and shit, and right, and we can fix things. So it's like, what's the point of owning a business, right? That has been established for like 10 years and you can't make any money off it. It's like I could work at McDonald's and make the same and have
So-
like, you
so
know,
I guess-
1/10 of the responsibilities.
So that's the question is like, why are you not saying like go sell it today, but like what keeps you there?
It pays the bills for right now. So like
And it's
Lisa
a family
and I,
business
we both
too,
get paid.
right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we have like, you know, advisors or board members that we need to discuss this with, namely her parents.
Okay.
But I am seriously considering like getting it prepped to sell, hopefully this year. But the other thing is like so that's why I'm so focused this year on like getting my shit together. And I need to be able to replace my income right now, right? Plus more.
Mhm.
So if I can do that on the side.
We already said you could do that with McDonald's, so just go apply. Just kidding, man.
So if I can do that, then it's like, okay, then it doesn't make any sense to keep the cleaners, right? It's like
Mhm.
if I can make us like way more than we're making the cleaners and not deal with all that bullshit, it's like, dude, why not just sell, right? So I need to get to that point, and that's the whole reason for this call is like, you know, I got my strategies, you guys got your strategies and things like that you guys use. Like the hardest thing for me was what the hell do I want out of life,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Yeah.
there's
When
all
you
these things
figured it out,
do.
can you share that with us?
Yeah. I mean, there's all these things you can do, right? But what's important? Like, you don't want to waste time working on the wrong thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how do you figure that out?
You kind of just have to dive into it, dude. Like, and just test it out. You know, I mean, that's
bullshit advice.
It's the only thing that it's like this whole testing and measuring thing. I think the moment we started this group and then started seeing all these funnels and all this, like, write this shit this way, like, that stuff comes after you know what the fuck you're doing. So it's like you have to know who you're selling to. Like, you have to know what they want. That's the biggest thing I've learned. And then I'm not great at it by any means, but like, you're really good at writing. Like, I like doing video. Jared is a superhero, or wants to be. He wants to go out and just fight crime.
Pretty much.
But like, it's
Just
like
waiting for those powers to kick in.
you have to like just see, like, I'm trying to like I think you need to see like who's asking for your service and just like go after that. But I think, are you having more of an issue that are you asking yourself if you want to actually do what you're good at?
Well, it's like, all right, like I know that I can write a copy, right? And I am focused on doing that a lot more for next year.
Yeah.
But it's the other things like what's important to me, you know, like, do I want to do like client work? Do I want to like create products? You know, I know you say you just got to like dive into it, and I'm kind of narrowing that down as I get there. But like, why am I doing this? What do I want, right? And how can I get out of where I am right now and to where I want to be? So it's like I have like the vague vision at the end, right? But until I get that like solidified and clarified, I can't break that step down.
Well, what does it feel like when you think of that vision? Like, what does that end goal feel like? Does it feel like you can accomplish it? Like, if you had it, are you feel fulfilled? Or are you kind of like, on paper, it feels like you wrote it on paper and you're staring at it like, I guess that's a goal.
Yeah. Like that.
You like that?
It's like I'm, you know, writing these things down. Yeah. Like,
I think that's why you're not getting there. Like, I was talking to someone I was like, this is like comparable. Like I was looking back at every milestone of my life, like when I first decided to tour in a band, and when I like met my now ex-wife, but at the time it like made sense, or when I wanted to become a graphic designer. I knew what it felt like the end point was. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I felt so good that there was no breaking, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but it just like, it got me there. So I think that maybe for you should ask yourself, like, if it doesn't feel good to be there, is that what you, I mean, I'm talking to myself right now. It's like, if it doesn't feel good to be there, then that's the wrong goal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just like, I think the problem that I'm having is like having too many goals or like wanting too many things, and like they all make sense in my life, right?
Right.
Like money's super important, health is super important. Want to spend more time with my kids, but like it basically all boils down to money. If I can, like, money solves problems that not having money causes, right? So if I make a shitload of money, it's like, okay, then I can get the time freedom. I can do like these mini vacations. I can get the home, the car, you know, like those things are actually important to me because we need it, you know, with kids.
Right.
Like, so, and then one of the main goals is like getting rid of the cleaners, or like getting out of it, completely out of it. Right. So like, yeah, these things are all important to me, but it all boils down to money. So like, what's that thing that's going to, that I can consistently work on and get to that point where I'm making like, you know, 10, 15K a month.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't think that, I think the funny thing is that we all like read these books like Tools of Titans and blah, 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 blah. And like, I like it too. Like, I really like, I'm listening to Mindset right now. And it just really comes down to, it's like, if I was like, I need to cross the street right now. If I sat here and thought about it, I wouldn't cross the fucking street. But the moment I start walking, I'd cross the street. And if a car was coming, I'd stop and I'd let the car pass and I'd wait till it was safe to go and I'd cross the street. Basically, like, if I think about it, I have to take action to do it. I'm like, okay, that's one small thing I can do. And now it's a bigger thing I can do. Well, I want to walk like, you know, 5 blocks that way or a mile that way to go somewhere else. Like, if I sit here, I'm like, well, what's the best route to go? Do I have the right shoes on? How did this person do it? It's like, no, man, just start fucking walking and you figure it out. So my point is like,
I understand that, like, and I agree there, but I think where Gideon's coming from, you know, once again, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle between the two of you, not like where I am personally. It's not that Gideon's saying like, oh, that doesn't work. I think his point is like, which street do I want to cross? Like, yeah, that works great if I know what street, but he's like, I'm at an intersection and, you know, there's.
But I don't think anyone can tell you. I don't think anyone's going to know that except you.
Yeah, but I think that's what he's saying.
No,
he doesn't know that. He needs to figure out.
But I'm saying like, but you can't ask. It's like almost like you're asking people for permission to do something. And again, like I do this shit all the time. Like I'm like, hey man, what do you think of this? They're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, then I won't do it. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't even try it. I think you should just like, okay, let's do it this way. How many of those goals do you have? Like, what are like the 3 things you'd love to do this year that you're like, I think this would be cool?
I'm still figuring that out. I'm basically trying to filter shit out right now.
Oh, so have you had like, has any ideas popped in your head of like what it could be?
Yeah, I have one idea that I'm currently working on or getting set up. I don't want to say anything quite just yet about it, or at least not live. So, but I think
it's still his idea.
No, I gotta figure. I just want to make sure it's an actual thing before I even like, you know, put it out there, because I hate talking about shit. It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and it's like, fuck, you know.
So didn't he say like
Anyways.
a year ago he was going to do that?
Which part?
No, like, so like people come back and go, didn't Gideon say he was going to do that? Like that never happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but then that's
No, I mean,
yeah.
it's what I'm trying to figure out right now is just like what's truly important to me, what makes me feel good. And I'm not asking for permission. I'm like trying to filter out all the bullshit in my head.
Who else is here? I mean, it sounds like so this kind of helped me. Like I started thinking of, I'm in the same spot where I'm like, money helps me make decisions. So I started thinking like, all right, well, what do I like to do besides my job? And I was like, well, I like this, this, and that. And those things are important to me. But money is kind of like you said, it's the gas in the tank. So it kind of like became, it turned into not what I was doing that became the main goal. It was just like the thing that I was doing that was making money just made sense to me. And like that became more exciting. Like instead of having it feel like, you know, oh, like my life has to be fulfilled and then my job has to give me the fulfillment of this is like because I'm doing it. Then I was like, wait a minute, I just want fucking money. You know, so let me try these because the money aspect of it is going to help me do the things I want. So I was like, well, let me take all that personal shit out of like my business and for a minute and see what that felt like. And it kind of switched the game a little bit. So I put less pressure on the business having to be so fulfilling. And then when I just showed up and started doing things, it actually became fulfilling. And it's still stressful, you know?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So maybe like don't like stress yourself out that the business has to give you such pleasure. Like it shouldn't be like hell by any means, but maybe like if you start making money, you're kind of like, oh shit, like that makes me feel really good. And then if it starts sucking later on, switch gears. Like Jared was like, I hate doing video because everyone wants these stupid requests. I know exactly what that feels like. I'm like, the fuck do you know? You don't know what I do. Like, where's your advice coming from? You know, and it's like you might hit that even if you found the thing you're passionate about. But I don't know.
Like, I started hating writing, copywriting, and all that, and all this, you know, entrepreneurship. And I was like, I'm fucking tired of this. Like, I don't want to do any of this anymore, you know? So like, I stopped writing. I used to write all the time. I used to like wake up at like 5 a.m. and just start writing.
Yeah, I'd wake up and read your emails.
Damn.
Yeah, you know, it's like I stopped doing all of that.
Why did you stop? Why did you stop?
It didn't feel good.
Why? What were you attaching to it?
I don't know. Like, I had like this motivation, or I was like, okay, like even though I don't know if this is going to work, like even still doing it, like makes me feel. I guess I'm like doing busy work, right? Just
that's what
pretending to be busy.
But that's what you attach to it. You attach that there had to be an outcome to you doing it.
Shouldn't there be an outcome to what you do?
If you love it, why don't you just do it?
Yeah, like when you play video games, like
I don't know
what is an outcome.
What it's like, I think that's what the thing is like you stopped writing because it had to generate money, and it took I just love writing and I just wrote. Like, but you put something on it that was like my writing now has to give me something. So I think that's what gave you like it took all the love out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just didn't get up and write.
I think I wasn't feeling. I think maybe I didn't feel like it was progressing, or like I wasn't growing from it. You know, like yeah, when I play video games, like it's for fun, right? It's entertainment. It's like it's a dopamine thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's fine. That's how I relax, right? But everything else, like skill wise, it's like, you know, if I wanted a game for like tournaments or like competition, it's like I could do that and still have fun, right?
Right.
I mean, there's got to be some type of reward. I mean,
is there like an outcome you have to have from playing with your kids besides like having fun?
That is the outcome.
Yeah. Is there a lot of pressure on you when you do that?
Yeah. Really? You don't have kids.
I don't. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. No, it is. Sometimes it is. I don't know.
Does it make you stop playing with your kids because of that?
No, but it's like, you know, some days you're just like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to play with you. You just need to just play by yourself. Like, nope.
Right.
You know, I mean,
I have no idea if what I'm saying is helpful in any way. I'm just talking right now, but it's like I'm trying to just ask questions to really pull something out of your brain where you're like, this will help me get excited. Like, that's what I want to try here, and it might not work, you know? I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing shit against the wall right now.
Right.
Well, how come after 3 years you decided to get back into or get more focused, and after not writing for the last year, you decided to start doing client work and stuff again? Like, is that just out of oh, I have to do this, or do you have some sort of inspiration now, or what's going on?
Yeah, the cleaners, like I'd have like these problems with these customers, like just fucking ridiculous customers, and I was like,
So it's moving away. So it's technically you're getting back into it for a
Moving
negative
away
reason
from
because you're
pain.
moving away from a pain versus running
Yeah.
towards a pleasure.
right,
Okay. So,
but the pain,
okay.
yeah, I mean, well, the pain is way greater than the pleasure right now. You know,
Yeah.
it's like every time something comes up, I'm like, okay, that's it. That's fucking it. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to stop doing this, but I want to make sure I do it in the right way. You know, like not just try to drop out. Like, make sure that I'm set, and then make sure that the business is prepped for sale. That, you know, everything's like in good standing order and stuff like that, and then jump ship.
What, like, if let's say, like, if what's your biggest pain with the cleaners?
Money.
That's
Honestly,
is that it, or is it like do you like your clients? Are they cool?
no, we have really good customers, but
Okay.
it doesn't matter if like it's a commodity, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody really gives a shit about dry cleaning.
Well, how do you market
Right.
it? I mean, you have great if you have great clients. I mean, like how, and it's like you said the margin is shit. And I know like a shirt is like what, like $2 or $1.75 or something to clean.
Yeah, ours is 207. No,
So,
like we're at
yeah.
capacity right now, actually. Like
So
we
okay.
can't do it anymore.
So even at that sense, you still can't pull any good margin or good money off of that.
no, not when like all this equipment's breaking down, you know, all the expenses going out, and then like our operation costs rise every year, right? And I'm like, okay, well then I need to raise my prices every year. And I'm planning on doing that for 2017. Like we haven't raised our prices since like 3 years ago, because I wasn't in any capacity to like have any control of the business, right?
Right.
And I just keep thinking like these are like little problems of the business that like it's not going to make an impact, right, on the margins a lot. Like we can't grow the business anymore, right? Like it's just fucking deadlined right now,
Okay.
or plateaued. So I'm like, okay, this is a bullshit business. Like I don't want to do this, you know, and I don't want to deal with the customers, the bullshit ones, you know, at least.
Right. I don't know, man. It sounds like, I mean, almost in a sense, it sounds like when we were first talking in like 2015, like I think,
Yeah.
so we were kind of stuck in that spot. It's like, so what have you done differently from then until now?
I don't want to get into the whole thing. How about, okay, so instead of like focusing on my problems, right? Because that wasn't the whole point of this.
We're gonna talk
this
about
call.
goals.
Right. Let's talk about goals, right? Let's talk about like strategy items.
I say whatever the goals are that we figure out, I say that we make some kind of thing that like each of us will have some kind of like a pact. Like you say it like, you know, you be like, I'm going to do 5 of these, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this much, or something, whatever it is, like what's tangible. And the 3 of us will set that. And like, that'll at least give us something to push towards. But it'll have to like come with some kind of attachment to it where we're like, all right, we can't just like bow out of it. We have to like get it done. And yeah, like a consequence or reward or something like that.
All right, we can figure that out privately.
And
Yeah,
like
let's do it
and then
live,
like post
man.
our
Do it live.
No. I mean,
like post in our group.
I think
Well, we can open up to
getting
the
off topic.
entire group really. Where
Okay, so I'm taking
videos-
this off. I'm taking
videos
this off
for
topic apparently. So
the viewers.
what?
No, I'm just saying the videos for the viewers instead of like our own issues, right? So we're here to like share our goal settings and strategies and tips and tricks and things like that, right?
Okay, so all right. I mean, I'm open. I don't give a shit what the setting is for me personally. I guess I'm comfortable with it. I'll be like, yeah, I'll do this, and like, or I'm gonna say it.
No, like I just want to make the video about the viewers, right? Like for the group, right?
Oh, yeah, I think they're watching. Yeah.
well, I mean, we can talk about the topic, and then we could decide. You know, if we want to post something there, we can open up to the whole group where everyone posts in like, here's my X things for 2017, and then we could figure out the whole accountability thing. You know, if we're gonna, I don't know, everyone who doesn't do it gets sent glitter in the mail or something. You know,
And you have to record yourself opening it.
That's great.
yeah, we'll hire Nick to send out, but instead of thank you cards, they'll be like you screwed up cards, and they'll be like full of glitter.
With a handwritten note inside.
A handwritten note, you failed.
You
glitter
idiot.
goes everywhere.
I think Nick is just like brainstorming ideas right now.
It's like, why am I focusing on the positive? I need to send out these negative letters.
Negative Nick Perry letters. All right, so Gideon, do you want to start with like what your goal is for 2017, or do you want like to ask Jared or me like a question about that?
I'm still working on my goals. I'm just trying to focus on one thing.
Okay.
Right. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out right now in this process. But during that time that I've been like the past few days, I've been trying to figure all this stuff out. Like, you know, I've looked at different resources and things like that, just kind of surveying the map, if you will, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm getting closer and closer. So like one resource that I recommend is the book, The One Thing. You guys read it?
Mm-hmm.
No. Basically just focusing on one thing, right? But I mean, it goes way more in depth with that.
I've
But
seen the movie.
The what?
Jokes don't work very well with a lag.
Wait, City Slickers?
No, it
Okay,
comes
so-
with these resources, right? So like, so you know, you have like your someday goals, right? And you write those down, and then for each one of those goals, you ask yourself this like defining question, where it's like, what's the one thing I can do that makes everything else unnecessary to reach this goal, right? So you put that for your 5-year plan, and then your 1-year plan, and then you have like your monthly and your weekly, right? And I found that for me personally, that's helped out a lot in like narrowing things down, right? And it's like I started writing my goals, and I was like, you know what, this is actually not that important to me, so I can throw that one out, right? And it's like just focusing on like the big ideas instead of like all this minutia that like distracts you.
Yes. So okay, so then that's what you're narrowing down right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now just having a stare contest with you. I like that. I think that's the biggest thing I've heard anyone say is just like that one thing. It's like, that's what I going back to though. It's like when I wanted that one thing that, and back in my life, I've accomplished anything. I didn't stop thinking about that one thing and I got there. But it like,
right.
The excitement behind it kept me with it the entire time. Even like those walls came, it's like I felt the end point and that kept me going the whole time. And I think the problem with a lot of people is they don't have that feeling what the end point is. So they're kind of like, I don't really want to go there, you know? It's like you get in your car with your friends and they're like, hey, let's go to pick a city or something. You start driving there. Unless you're like fired up, what's going to feel like? You're like halfway driving, you're like, I don't want to fucking do this drive. This sucks. But if the outcome is in your head, you're like, oh man, we're going to do this and that's going to be awesome. I'm going to be up. That keeps me up for 9 hours driving in the car. Mm-hmm. So like, it's just for you, it's finding out what that exciting thing is to attach to it, where you're like, damn, like I can't see anything else besides this happening.
Yeah, and that's a problem that like most of us, we can't see the end result. We have this like this wish or this goal, and you're like, yeah, that would be fucking awesome. You start daydreaming, and then when you're like, okay, I'm gonna do that, and you start working on it for like maybe like a week or two, and then you're like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Like I can't see the end goal. Like how long is this gonna fucking take, right?
Yeah.
And so most people get discouraged, and they're like, I want the quick win. And we're kind of like living in that time right now where it's like everything's just instant, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things.
Yeah. Did you see that Simon Sinek talk on whatever that Quest Bars podcast? Was it?
For like why millennials are like.
It's the guy who does the Quest bar. It's like his YouTube channel. Did you watch this at all?
I saw him. You're talking about the Start With Why guy, right?
Yeah, he's talking about the same thing. It's like everyone wants instant gratification, but like you know, if you want to get 6-pack abs, like you can't just go to the gym. I do this all the time. Like I go to it for a month. I'm like, where are they?
Yeah.
I've been drinking water. I haven't drank alcohol. Where are my abs? You know, and then if someone's like, oh, you got to be like, it's like 8 months. You maybe see one. You're like, fuck this. I don't want the abs that much. But then I didn't want the abs that much. That's why I quit. I was like, I don't want them that much.
Right. Like, why? Why do you want it? You know?
Exactly. It's like, why do I even want this? I'm like, girls will think I'm hot. Then I like talk to some random girl in a bar looking like the way I think I look like a mess now, and they're like, oh, you're funny. You know, I'm like, oh, like, maybe I don't need abs to like talk to people. Maybe I just need to be less afraid of girls and say, all right, now I can drink all I want. You know? This is what happens when you're single, guys. This is what happens.
No, but you gotta have purpose.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Right?
You know, I
You
think,
gotta have purpose.
but I don't think you can, but I think you're doing the right stuff, man. I think you're like, you know, I like that idea of just focus on that one thing, but it's like, what is that thing? What's that drive for me right now? You know?
Well, oh, so like like that book that I posted, Grit, right? I started listening to the audiobook and I was like, oh my God, like all this shit just makes so much sense, right? And it's like, how everybody's like the overnight success, right? Like Google was an overnight success. And it's like, not really. It took them fucking 8 years, right?
Yeah.
You know, like nobody sees the behind the scenes stuff. So it's like, if you guys have the grit, you're committed, you're focused, you're just doing that one thing, and it's like nothing, you know, you do it every single fucking day, right? And it's like, that's how you get to mastery. That's how you get to excellence. That's how you achieve all your goals and success and things like that. So that's what you need to focus on. It's like being focused.
Yeah.
You know.
What's like the last thing that you did where you were so excited about it and you got it and you made it happen? But like leading up to it, you were like, there's no question in my mind. I want this. I don't figure it out. Like, what was that? Was it like moving was it like going to the army? Initially, was it like meeting your wife? Was it like starting to have a family? Was it buying a house? Was it making your Iron Man costumes? Like, yeah, you were committed to that, man. You stuck with those things.
That was that was fun.
Yeah.
You know, that one was like, I couldn't let the kids down kind of thing, like without a costume. No, I never really had like that. Like, I never really had like that kind of ambition or drive or like, I see this thing, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking get that. It was just like, I'll try it out. You know, like when I got the AppSumo gig, it was like, yeah, fuck it, they're hiring, I'll try it out.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. And it's like, I think that's the problem, is where I'm confusing talent between like actual effort or determination. Like, I thought I was talented, but so it kind of gets in your head. You're like, no, I'm just good at this. I'll just keep doing this. And it's like, no, dude, like I need to fucking practice. I need to work at this,
Yeah, but I think, says who?
Says me. Like, like, okay, did you see that Simon Sinek thing, like with the millennials, how he talks about millennials?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, everybody gets an award for showing up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, or like you're telling them we're special and stuff like that. Like, I feel like I kind of grew up like that, right? Like, oh, you can do this or that or whatever, and it's like, nobody taught me how to work hard. Like I didn't understand that.
Right.
So like when I got the gig for AppSumo, it was just like, oh, okay, I'm just a naturally good copywriter, and I don't need to like work as hard to like learn or practice, which I haven't been, And I'm just kind of coming to this realization now. It's like, I need to work. Like, I need to put some effort in. I don't feel like I have been.
Yeah.
I think it was like misplaced effort,
Yeah, man. I mean, I think this is a bigger conversation than what you wanted to. I mean, I could clearly see it. I mean, it's like right there in front of me. Like, not the answer, but it's like, it's clear that you. And I don't think it's the gig that's keeping you. There's something else that's like keep giving you like a hang up with shit. I think that's the thing you need to find. And I don't think you're going to find it through writing. I don't think you're going to find it through buying shit. I don't think you're going to find it through selling your cleaners. I think it's like a whole different conversation outside of what this is.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think you should, I don't know. that you figure that out. I mean, that's what helped me. Like I figured that out for myself. And that got me out of the rut. I was like, why am I so mad? Why am I not successful? Why does it hurt so much? And then I started like really seeing shit. And I was like, oh, like that's the way I'm seeing things. But if I just turn this way, there's a whole open spot of I could just, oh, there's another opportunity here that I can go after.
I think that's the point that I'm at right now, where you were at.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm getting close, I feel like.
Yeah, man. But what you're going through is like what a lot of entrepreneurs are going through. Like they're like, no one's forcing you to not open up your computer and type anything. Like no one's telling you that you're a shit copywriter. Like no one's telling you to do this. Like your past isn't telling you, hey, you didn't grow up with hard work ethic, so you can't ever have that. Like you're basically telling yourself that now.
Right. You know? But that's internal beliefs, right? That's like the hidden scripts, right? That you play in your head.
So you got to figure out why it is you're telling yourself that. Again, it's a grander conversation than this, but I would fucking start. I would start there, man, and be like, why am I doing this? Like, who am I blaming? Like, you know, why is it that I don't want to put that much time in?
Right.
You know.
And those are the questions I'm asking myself.
You coming up with any answers? You don't have to say them now, but.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm figuring it out.
Okay. So to take the pressure off of you, let's take the pressure off of you and take Mr. Muty here. You're on mute, dude.
Yeah, I know. The building I'm in has been like no one's used it for like a week and a half, and then 10 minutes before we started this, everyone decides to show up and start cleaning and moving stuff, and then I'm like on mute half the time because I'm like, what the heck? Like this, I've been here every day, not a single person's been here. But
everyone's on vacation.
Yeah,
I have to plug my computer in, so I'm just stepping out. But Jared, what are your goals? And I'm gonna jump back in.
So the last few years, I've kind of done. I heard around the time that we kind of started meeting, I'd heard someone talk about like how he wrote down like 10 big ideas he wanted to accomplish for the year. And of course, he can't do all of them, but he considered it a success if he could hit like 5, 6 of them. If he hit like 8, 9 of them, even 7 of them, he's like, then that means the goals weren't big enough. If he was only hitting 1 or 2 of them, then they were too big. And so he always tried to have these 10 big goals. And so I've tried that the last few years with mixed success. But this year, I really decided like similar to getting something about like I need to really focus down like and not have so many things. And I think it can become an excuse for certain things where it's like if something's not going as well over here, instead of figuring it out, it's like, well, I'm going to run over this. I'm going to put some of my identity in this thing. This is doing better than dealing with why this is doing as well. So my goal, hopefully, for this year, I've been thinking about it the last couple of days, and I was like, do I want to pick this thing? Do I want to pick this thing? Or do I want to pick this thing? Or do I want to just keep trying to do all 3? Where am I going to have my focus? Like, you know, and so like, I don't know if I can do it, but my hope and my goal is to narrow it down to kind of like a theme. And this is going to sound very out there, but like I'm instead of being like I got this and this, and here's my 10 goal plan, and you know let's try to hit 5 or 6 of them. I'm really trying to narrow it down to like a 1-word theme. So I've got a handful of words, and I just haven't decided which one I want to make my focus. So for so long, it's just been like, oh, make money, you know, and this, and but then at the same time try to do this, and I'm just trying to narrow it down to like 1 word, like what's that theme going to be? And obviously I'm not going to be able to work on just one thing specifically. And that theme could break down into smaller things but really trying to narrow in like, what am I focusing on for 2007? I don't want to be scattered. I don't want to get to the end of the year and be like, you know, I built this up a little bit, then I let it kind of neglect a little bit. And then I did this a little here. And then maybe if I tried this a little harder, this would have taken off. I don't want to be so scattered, if that makes sense this year. I'm really trying to just narrow that down. And again, I know I can't just do one thing all year, but if I can at least have an overarching theme, and then all these side things, it's like, is that going to that vision for this year, or is it going to be something that's going to be distracting? So that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm trying to. I keep looking over my paper because I kind of wrote them out. Some of them out. I'm trying to figure out like, what do I want my focus for 2017 to be? And then again, I come back to blame it on the ADD or blame it on the whatever, but like I have the issue. I have a little bit of Superman syndrome to where I think I can do everything. So I take on too much.
Yeah.
And so I'm always trying, and it's like, yeah, and I'll double the efforts here, and then I'll add this on, and I had this idea, I'm going to try this, and then, maybe I'm doing too much. No, I'll just go listen to some Grant Cardone, and I'll just 10x everything, and I'll just do more, and then I get to the end of the
It's
year.
like the worst advice ever. 10x everything. It's like, that I don't mean to interrupt, but that reminds me of like one of the stories out of Grit was this baseball player or a pitcher. He's like in the Hall of Fame, like one of the best pitchers ever, and he says like he has a like a philosophy, right? Like a life philosophy, and the way that he was able to get into the Hall of Fame and things like that was, if it means like he goes to Florida and he can't get a sunburn because that's going to affect the way that he plays, then he wears a shirt everywhere he goes and a ton of sunscreen. If that means that he has to chop wood, with his left hand instead of his right hand, then he uses his left hand. Like he has a guiding philosophy where it's like, okay, he has this angle, of like being like one of the best pitchers ever, or like that's his thing. If anything means of him like getting hurt or like damaging his, his throwing hand or his arm, like he'll use his other hand. Or like if that means that, he can't eat like a donut in the afternoon because he's trying to lose weight, then he has cottage cheese. Like he uses that to guide his whole life, his life decisions. So it's kind of like your thing where like you have this overarching theme or like it's like your philosophy or whatever, and that guides all your decisions.
Yeah.
I was like, you there?
He's like, yeah, no.
No. I'm totally there with you. I'm going to move rooms real quick. The one good thing about it, though, that I've really seen some good side effects in the last couple of weeks as I'm trying to figure this out. And I'm like, okay, I do too much. I really need to narrow down what I do. Oop, no lights in there. Not going in there. I've really been able to help with my perfectionism a little bit. So like if I'm doing something, it's like, it's like that whole just ship it thing where it's like, okay, I've become aware that I'm doing too much. One way is to knock out as how much I do, right? Well, that's really hard for me in my personality because, again, I got that Superman syndrome. I want to do everything. I think I can do everything. So one area that I've really been focusing on is doing things faster. So instead of taking forever, like I have this mental process to where when people like present something to me that I either have to do or I take on to do, the way my brain kind of works is like I categorize it and I put it off as like a do later. Like, okay, cool, this will add to my queue of things I need to do. And then I have all these little things and I get this mental fatigue because I'm like, I've been running around, I've had errands to do, I've had life. I just need to get some quiet time so I can work through that queue. And what I've been realizing is if it's a shorter thing, like just do it. Don't put it in the queue. Just get it done. So if someone gives me like a 15-minute task, don't put that in the queue. Don't wait 3 days and then have the pressure of, hey, is that done yet? Oh, no, I need to get to it. Like just do it. And then it's like, well, I want to be able to sit down and I want to be able to sit and stare and visualize. No, just do it. Like, for example, I had something I was doing, a copywriting thing right before we did this. And normally I would have hung onto it for several more hours and I would have looked at it and I would have shown it to some other people. And then I maybe would have printed it off and seen, how does this look? I was like, you know what? I've read through it like 3 times. It looks good. I'm confident in it. I'm just going to hit send. And I've been trying to just click that send button on the email instead of spending another 45 minutes on a task, just staring and thinking and stuff. So because if there's something, they're going to catch it in 5 minutes. And they're going to send it back and say, hey, can you make this quick change? I'm like, oh yeah. And that 5 minutes is going to be a lot faster than me spending, half a day worrying about it. And maybe I wouldn't have caught it anyway. So I'm trying to, because I'm so bad at cutting things out, I'm trying to do things quicker, if that makes sense. And maybe I'll figure out how to not take on as much. I don't know. But in the meantime, I'm really working on just trying to do things quicker. And again, I don't mean lower quality. I mean like being a perfectionist to where, it's done and I'm going to sit and look at it and think about it forever, or I'm going to take forever. No, just get it done. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Don't wait for this. Just get it done if you can and get it shipped, get it out there.
Do you know how you get it done? You know how you actually get it, like you move in the direction of taking it off your plate? You pick one of the smallest tasks that you don't think is going to be affected if it doesn't go as great as you want to, and you actually say, I'm going to find a way to take this off my plate and give it to somebody else.
That's
And
what I was gonna say, like delegate.
100%. Like I do that with the virtual assistant I have. I was like, I need a list of marketing companies in Raleigh. I don't want to do it. So I was like, I reached out to her. I was like, hey, can you take on a project? She's like, yeah. It's like, all right, cool. I need you. And I said, well, I said to myself, okay, if I was going to do this, I would do this. So I mapped out the steps and I emailed the steps. I said, I need you to do this. Follow all of these steps. Let me know if it's confusing and give me 2 hours. Don't go over 2 hours. Don't go under. Just give me 2 hours and then send me it and tell me and show me where you're at. And then it opened the door, and I've been doing that all the time. And like, and the cost works with the amount of time. And then once you start delegating, dude, oh my God. I mean, even like my bigger projects, just giving it off to somebody, it's like I always say, like, you know, I like to go, when I go out to dinner, it's because someone's cooking me a meal. I'm like, it's one less thing I have to fucking do. You know, I don't jump behind them and say, wait a minute, I know how to cook this. Like, I'm just like, dude, just take care of it. Make me my drink. Like, cook me this steak. Like, I know how to do these things, but like, you know what it feels like to have someone do things for you. You do it all the time.
Hey, son, grab me a beer.
Exactly. Send your kid to get you a beer.
That's why you have kids. That's what my dad always said is, hey, you know what? When you get older, you'll have your own, and you'll have your own slaves. Like, he said that all the time. And I know it's a horrible thing to say, but he told me all the time. He's like, you don't like it, and then you have your own kids. They can do things for you. I was always running and grabbing stuff, drinks, and take this plate into the kitchen. And
now you have your kids do it for the two of you. You're like, hey, Dad, check this out. You're like, hey.
Hey, go get Grandpa something.
Let's go.
Like at the cleaners, right? Like every day I come in and I'm like, any problems? And they're like, yeah, and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, how about you just save it for me at the end of the day? And then if you guys can like my main guy that I have working there, Chris, I told him, I was like, listen, if a customer complains and it's like a $20 problem, just give him $20 credit if that makes him happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't call me for like these like little things.
How's that working?
Right? Did that.
It's like the 4-hour work week thing, right?
Oh yeah. I was like,
that's awesome,
dude. Like you're on salary. Like we trust you. You're fucking awesome at customer service. Like just make them happy, and up to like $20-$25, right? If that works. I was like, if it's like a bigger problem where it's like, dude, like we fucking burned up their shirt and like shit on it, then it's like, okay, yeah, you know, give me a call. Let me know about that.
I love the story between how you did those two things to someone's shirt. Like that could be like
coffee, or we actually took a dump on your shirt in house.
Yeah, it's a courtesy actually.
It's tradition.
No, but that's one. I'm in the same problem in the same area that you are, Jared, where it's like I've hired a VA before to like do like research and data entry, and fucking awesome. I like just let it go for like a week, you know, and she does it for like however many hours that she can do it, and it's like, and then I have a list of like all these businesses and all their contact info, and I give her the exact steps, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm definitely gonna use this like later on, but right now I don't have any need for it, you know. So those small tasks, yeah, like either just get rid of it or have somebody else do it, or like, is this really that important, or does it need to get done?
Yeah. I mean, is it like also going towards your main goal of like whatever it is you want to get done, you know? Like we surround ourselves with busy work all the time just because, but like the moment you free yourself up, you're like, oh man, like you feel that space. Just like, this is amazing, you know? And it frees you up to do it. But then the problem is when you have space, you're like, crap, I got to fill it with 10 more things to do. Like, what are they?
Yeah.
I gotta be
like
busy.
Vacuum, and then you want to fill it up. It's like, no, dude, take that downtime.
Well, I think like that one guy who was pitching, like he has one job. I was talking about this with a buddy of mine. It's like when you have one job is to pitch a ball over a plate. That is it. That brings in all the money in the world.
Yeah, that's your life.
That makes every decision after that. And the problem is that, like what Gideon was saying, is like, you know, I think the moment you find that goal, that's going to make all the scatteredness go away, because you're going to be like, wow, all this crap isn't going to get me here. So
yeah,
see, like, I don't need it. It's not attached to it's not attached to my outcome. Like his outcome is, I need to show up in that mound, and I know what it's like to live up there. I got how many of our eyes looking at me. I got like my salary's based on this. I got to get this guy out. I've loved being in this game. This is my moment, and anything that's going to prevent me from being here, I will do everything I can to prevent that from happening. Like that's where he lives. Like you're watching him in his goal, right. You know? So, and I think that, and there's probably times where he's like, I don't want to pitch a goddamn ball today, or like, you know, it's not like every day he's like, I can't wait. But I think the majority of times is when he does, or the things get him excited when he's wearing a t-shirt out on the beach, you know, he's like, I look like an idiot, but you know, I've got to pitch that game this week against whoever, or when he did. Yeah, I think that's the problem is like, you know, a lot of people don't have that. What do I want to do? What do I really want to do? Like what's going to get me? What's going to make these action steps get me there?
Well, it's hard to think about. And I think that's the thing. It's like we're inherently lazy. You know, we always pick the path of least resistance, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard to think about these things. You know, you're spending a lot of brain energy.
Yeah. I do remember though, like but when I think all the times where I actually got the things that I wanted, I literally, because that, like when I went to school, I was 24 years old when I decided to go back to school. I went for 10 months at a technical course. I would get up every day. I would drive an hour to go to class, and then I'd get home and I would like literally I would buy Photoshop magazine and just do tutorials for 5 hours. I would start creating logos. And like, I was so passionate about it that there was no, this isn't gonna happen. Then I was working a waitering job on the weekends. I fucking hated it. All I could think about is like, I'm just doing this to get to here, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And that was it, you know, and that kept me for like a year. It kept me solid, you know, and I became non-lazy because of that. I was like, I have to do this because of this, but I got like more energy out of it. So I think if I'm going, if it's like, if I had to go do something that I don't want to do, I'll make every fucking excuse in the book. Like, I'm not doing this. Yeah. I'm tired. This sucks, you know?
Yeah, it's like, that's awesome that you had that focus and passion. Like, I think most people don't, though.
Oh yeah, but they can. They can.
It can. Yeah, but it's hard to find. Sometimes it's hard to find.
Yeah, maybe you're just looking in the wrong place.
Right. Like
that's just my 2 cents.
I never thought I would get into like copywriting or marketing or anything like that, right? Like when I was younger, I just wanted to DJ and play music and make music.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, this is the only thing I want to do. Like, this is the only thing that like interests me, you know?
Yeah. But I understand what you're saying, because you're doing copywriting because you're naturally good at it and you kind of fell into making money on it and you have responsibilities, when you just want to be DJing and doing the music stuff. But if you look at it, you're like, well, that's silly. And what would people think? And how would I make money? But that's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
I recently kind of came to that same thing, and I posted about it in Entrepreneurs Roundtable, but in a way that like I didn't explain it or anything. I assumed that most people took it as a joke. But when I really stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, okay, so I do the copywriting stuff on the side. And that's fine, because that's not like an all-consuming thing. So if I get burnt out on that, I just stop for a while. And if I need money or like get bored, I can pick it back up. Like I've picked it back up right now for both reasons: for the intellectual challenge, as well as for improving skills, as well as for extra cash. But when I really thought, I was like, well, what do I want to do here? And I looked at like when I did the Nate ideas for the copywriting stuff, I looked at all my blog articles and the podcast stuff. And I saw the funny videos, like I did the one about like I cut my hair all crazy, and the one about the shaving the different hair. Like I made those for Nate ideas. I looked at Business Heroes, which Entrepreneur Roundtable is part of, and I looked at like the best content I produced there, and they were like these funny videos to teach like business stuff. And then I looked at things like that, and that was like the reoccurring theme. And I was like, at the end of the day, it seems like I really enjoy producing this humorous but educational content, and I'm trying to find a way to like build some business I can shoehorn it into.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so if I really be honest with myself and I don't worry about how dumb it sounds or I think it sounds, I was like, I really just want to be a YouTube celebrity and produce my own content. So I posted that, like, I think it was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and there's like, I'm going to be a YouTube celebrity. Again, just kind of as a joke. I didn't explain that as serious or anything. But it's like, and so that's the process I've been going through for the last few months, and I've been working on some stuff. And I was like, I need to get over the fact that two things I really need to get over. One, I need to get over the fact that sounds silly. If people ask me, like, what's your goal? I want to be a YouTube celebrity. Like, and they're like, what, really? And then secondly, the idea of, like Mike said, it reminded me a lot of what Casey Neistat has said about his stuff when people ask him how to make money doing YouTube stuff. He talked about, until recently, he didn't. He washed dishes, he bussed tables, he did all these other things so he could do his video stuff. And I had to come to the conclusion where, I had asked myself, do I want to make these videos on YouTube so much that I'm willing to do two things? One, get over the fact that people may think it's silly and it's not like the most noble thing, as like, I'm not out there doing, something that, or even in the entrepreneurial world, like YouTube videos versus like my landing pages and this and that. And I do these, I build funnels, or I'm a copywriter, or, web designer, or video or whatever. So am I willing to let go of that and be like, yeah, my thing is I building up my YouTube channel. And two, am I willing to do other work to pay the bills? Am I willing to go out there and start copywriting again? Even producing, I picked up a couple videos recently for some work. Am I willing to do other things that aren't necessarily my complete joy, like bussing the tables, like waitering, like you talked about? If it allows me to do this, what if I never make money, or at least right now, let's not say never, but let's say like right now, am I willing to take I think how did Greg Cardone say it, the financial haircut now in the short term for the next couple of years? Because it takes time. You don't just decide. Like you can come up with an information product and in 30 days be making money if you figure it out and you do it right. But you can't necessarily do that with YouTube. To build up an audience, it takes time. It takes even longer to start, monetizing that to where you're going to support yourself full time off that. You really kind of almost have to build, back end businesses off that. So am I willing to do these other things that I don't love, and some of them I may even kind of hate a little bit, in order to do this, and then one day do this hopefully full time? And I just came to the point where I finally just said, yeah, I am actually. I am to the point where this is what I want to do. I'm looking back on my history. This is what I keep trying to do.
Wow.
I might as well just commit to it, make zero money off of it right now, spend 90% of my free time doing this that kind of seems like it doesn't make any sense because I should be doing these other things, knowing that one day, or even if not one day, if I don't end up becoming the entrepreneur lottery, and I do get like the average American that just spends their entire life in a job that they're not necessarily passionate about, at least I'm one of the lucky ones that has a hobby that they're super passionate about and they love, versus the one that just works and thinks, well, if I would have loved to have done this, but I was never willing to go for it, or so that's kind of where I've come to in that sense. And so that's where I'm focusing a lot of my energy, is just stop trying to, being super cool and being the current thing, and just saying, this is what I really want to do. So like for you mentioned music, like I keep coming back to this, and so I'm going to stop fighting it. I'm just going to do it. I know it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice, but that's kind of where I am with that, if that makes sense. Hopefully that helped.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I think there's actually a guy, I was listening to Tim Ferriss' podcast. He interviewed some guy the other day, and he did the same thing. Like, it was just like, he was 29, and he was like, he lived in Salt Lake City. He had 4 kids or 3 kids at the time, and he was doing construction work, and he hated it. And he just did this, heard about YouTube, posted this video, and he got like a ton of views. And he was like, holy crap. And then like, I think he started monetizing right away. He got like a check for $600 for 2, nice. It was like a couple of videos. He was like, holy crap. So he was like, I'm gonna start just doing videos. And then he was like, I'm gonna document my last year in my 20s. And he would just do goofy, stupid videos. And he's like, man, people shit on me all the time and all these things. But he makes a living off of doing it now. He's only been doing it for 6 years. But I think the thing is like, the majority of people are going to tell you that your idea is shit because they don't know how to do it themselves. But if you talk to anybody out there who's a YouTube celebrity, they're going to say, oh yeah, I had the same thing. And I just kind of pushed through it. So I would actually reach out to those guys and talk to the people who did it and say, hey man, I want to do this. What'd you do? I got a buddy of mine, his name's Charles Trippy. He just started recording himself decade ago, I think it was, or 5 years ago. He just records himself every day. He broke like the Guinness Book of World Records for the most like daily videos of a human being or something ridiculous, but he just would just do stupid videos, and now he just records himself, like, and the door that it opened for him is insane. Like, and he also documented all his bad times. Like, he had like a brain tumor. He like had to like he was like recording one day and fainted. He's like, oh, what's this? And turned out he like had a brain tumor. So he like documented that, and then he documented his wedding, and then he got divorced, and he like documented that, and she was part of like the podcast with him. But then he like got in this band and he tours with them, and they play in front of these giant. And he wanted to play bass, and he's like, oh crap, I'll do this. Now he tours with them. They play in front of giant crowds. It just took persistence. But in the beginning, I mean, people were like, "Oh, that's stupid," but everyone's gonna say that. I posted a video a couple weeks ago. It was 7 minutes long about how to make a plan. Some guy like shit all over it, just destroyed me, and I was like, "Thanks, kid." It was like. But even then, even at the smallest aspect, people are gonna shit on you. There's never gonna be a point where people are nice, like 100% of the time. There's always everyone wants to be an asshole. People probably like gonna post on this video and be like, "You guys fucking suck. This is boring. You're over an hour recording shit." It's like, you know what? Fuck you. You know. So I think if you want to do it, you just have to do it, and you can't. Well, I want to try this. I want to. It's like, stop trying. Just fucking do it. You know, stop waiting to make it pretty. Like, stop thinking like crap. Like, just. You say you want to be a YouTube star, then fucking be a YouTube star. You know, you don't need anyone's permission.
Yeah.
So hey, by the way, Gideon, if you ever, if you do start doing music stuff, I would love to feature it in my videos because I need good music.
Oh no, I just meant that like when I was younger, that's what I was into, and then I lost interest in that.
So the answer is
now
no.
it's business stuff.
Okay, I guess I gotta.
Yeah, just to give you the long version of it. Yeah, I thought it would ease the blow.
Now he wants to write.
It's okay. Yeah.
Great. See, you just crushed Jared's dreams. See, it happens all the time. It happens right now.
Get up and leave.
Bastard. So what can you do? What can you make your goal for this year? Like, how many videos can you commit to do this year?
Me?
Yeah.
I want to do one a day, 1+ even, but it's going to take a lot of sacrifice to do that. And honestly, it's not even so much sacrifice. It's going to take me sacrificing having everything figured out and perfect. And I'm going to, because I could easily do one a day if I just commit and do one a day. It's struggle if I'm like, well, it has to just be perfect. I want to take the next 2 weeks and go see what other people are doing. And
so you're literally already killing the idea.
That's what I'm saying. If I could just get over that, I could easily do one a day. And just not care.
No, how many can you commit to? How many like literally number of videos can you commit to? Doesn't have to be like 1,000.
I like that idea.
You can say in the next year I'll do 3 videos.
No, that inspires me. Like, I want to do one a day.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Oh.
I'm gonna write it down.
Here, that brings up a really good point that I really wanted to talk about this. So regarding that, right? Like what Mike said, like how many do you want to do for this year? Like let's just say 3, right? It's like again, it comes down to people wanting to see like results like next day, and then they don't see it, and then they're like, I'm gonna just do something else, right? So like, all right, so if you're setting your goals for 2017, and you're like, okay, let's say for me, I want to get down to 15% body fat, right? That's my goal. And so I was like, okay, so how do I do that? Let's say, like, okay, I like want to do like, 100 push-ups a day, right? And it's like, could I do that? Yeah, I could work towards that and try to do as many as I can, or just to get into the habit of things, just do 2.
Yeah.
So just do 2 push-ups. Start with like the smallest possible win that you can get, and then build up momentum. Do it for 2 weeks straight, and then reevaluate, and then like add 2 more push-ups, right? And it's like you're in it for the long term, so you're not going to see results, of course, and you're like, this shit seems like it's going to take way too fucking long to see results. Like, but give yourself a win, right? So like for you, Jared, like instead of doing one every day, right? Like, how about 1 a month? And then you can do another one, if you want, or like 1 a week, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little bit more.
For me, my version of that, because 1 a day wouldn't actually be hard. What I would have to do, and I understand what you're saying. It'd have to translate into just doing it and not worrying about being perfect, because I can easily doing what I could do 3, 4, 5 a day if what to me the block isn't how many. To me it's like, well, it has to be this amazing thing I have to spend forever. I for a while I went for like 2 weeks where I did one a day, and what ended up stopping me is when I all of a sudden started getting paranoid about like, well, maybe I need to do this, I need to add in this other stuff, and maybe this is too easy, maybe I need to add in more production stuff here. And that got me to where then it took me 2 weeks to do an episode, and then it took me a month to do the next episode, and then I didn't do an episode for like a month and a half. And I think I need to go back to that of, I'm posting one a day. And if just like how Casey does his videos once every single day, and every now and then he has an episode that's not like, none of that is crap quality, but like, it's a shorter episode. It's not the most amazing thing in the world. And that's okay, because tomorrow's another day. And tomorrow he's probably going to be like, skydive, like skiing off of a helicopter or something. So I think I need to go back to that. And for me, my 2 push-ups a day is just hitting publish a day. Not so much the matter of do one a month. I need to just publish a video every single day and not worry if it's going to go viral because it's the greatest thing ever. Tomorrow's another day, and if I can do something amazing tomorrow, if that makes sense.
So then like write down on a piece of paper and put it wherever, like in the morning, like on your bathroom counter, and do another one on the fridge and say like, did you push publish today? Like just write that question and have it in front of your face. That's it. Like that's the goal. That is simplicity. It's not like spreadsheets and blah blah. It's literally you asking yourself that question and you having to answer to yourself. So just like I would write that. I would put that everywhere you possibly can, and have it on the background of your phone. Have it in the background of your computer.
Surround myself with it as a constant thing.
Just ask that. Didn't say, not like, did you use the proper lighting? Did you use the right camera? Just say, did you hit publish today? That's all you have to do.
Yep, that's good. And that's honestly that's kind of inspired me. And this is for the last few weeks has been kind of paralyzing me, and even just like draining my energy, because I'm thinking about like, I want to be able to do a baseline of one a day, type thing. But then I'm trying to figure out the logistics and what's the schedule going to be. Just so what you said, the whole spreadsheet thing, like, well, am I going to have Monday, Wednesday, Friday be this kind of video, then this kind of video? I'm like, I just need to do one a day and just do it. Like I said, I'm going to write that everywhere, that did you publish, or, whatever, however I word it. I'm just gonna have to post that everywhere, and that's gonna be my thing. And I know myself, like I know I'm not gonna put out crap. So it's not like, oh, well, now I'm putting out these once a day, I'm putting out these crappy videos. Like I know myself where I'm gonna rise to the occasion. I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna get more creative about how to do these videos better. And I'm gonna cut out all the fluff stuff. I'm gonna cut out all the research that I really don't need to do, that maybe increase the video by 2% because I spent 6 hours, looking at something. And it's gonna cause me to, it's like the whole, Tim Ferriss talks about like languages and other things, like you can, become 90% fluent in like, 6 months, but it's going to take you a lifetime. So like I need to just start putting out 90% perfect videos every single day instead of putting out one perfect video, 100% perfect video every couple months.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. I'd say like your first goal should be like, if you do want to make that a goal if you do want to have that be something like, it doesn't have to be exactly what I said, but to have something in front of your face written down, I'd make that goal number 1 and give yourself a deadline and say like, by tomorrow, I'm going to have this here, here, and here. And then I would start with that. And then I'd pick the other goal, be like, just record 1. Like the vlogs I started doing, I picked up my phone, I started recording, I upload to YouTube, and then I published one. And I was like, oh, okay. And I answered about 20 questions. Like I was like, this is how I make it shorter. Here's where I should hold it when I'm talking. Oh, I can find a room like here. I can go outside. Oh, going outside's weird because people are around me. It's like all the questions started getting answered. Then I made like a whole process of like, all right, if I do that, what can I like copy and paste in my descriptions? And I like, as soon as I'm done recording, I think it takes me 10 minutes after that to post it. But it's like there. And I have like a list on my phone. I like got up, opened up my notes, and I wrote down, I just brain dumped 20 ideas in my notepad. So if I ever got stuck, I would just go, oh, I'll talk about this today. And I just do it on the fly, So like that could be something that you do, or just keep it that simple and then build off of it. Like, can you tell me like the first 10 Casey Neistat videos he ever did?
That he did?
Yeah. Do you remember them? Like, are they in your face?
No, because he's been doing it for years, and I just started watching like 4 or 5 months ago.
Exactly. You don't care about the first fucking things he did, and I've been watching
They
him
kind
for
of
like
suck. I've gone back and looked at some of his early stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't wait until he's perfected this over time.
Yeah. The Make It Happen video, if you really look at it, it's not filmed very well, but the idea around it's fantastic. That's what got me excited about video production, was that video. When I look at it now, I'm like, this is like really lagging, you know, but the idea is just like fantastic, you know? So no one's going to give a shit
it's more
about
about the content.
Right, exactly. It's your audience. Like
And
that dad.
I can just say
You
to
know?
your point, that's the case with, because I've done that with about half a dozen to maybe even 10 YouTube people, where I've gone back, like I've spent like 10 minutes to hit load to get back to their first videos. And you can easily see that, like, oh, they didn't just start out this way. Like, they started producing mediocre videos with a good idea, and then over the period of just doing it is what caused them to develop their style, to get the quality and stuff up. They didn't sit around forever. They just started, and it's become what it is now. And again, no one watches their first. Even like Rhett and Link, like, they're huge. You go back and you watch their first even 50 videos, and they all have like 1,000-2,000 views on them, versus now they put out a video and there's like 2 million within like 72 hours.
Yeah.
Their old stuff like wasn't as good, but that's how they got here.
But they just did it, you know? You just gotta do, like, that's the biggest thing I've learned. Is just, you can't overthink things. Just, you want to do it, literally just show up and do it. Like, stop overanalyzing it. And I just like the other thing too, like, we've been talking for like over an hour, so I don't know how long you guys want to.
Yeah, I was about to say, I actually gotta get my kids ready to take them to the snow mountain.
Nice. So. Cool, man.
I'm done.
Well, this has been awesome, guys. I don't know about you, but
I think we should make this a regular occurrence.
I wish we did this like a week ago, because I've tortured myself all week. And really the answer is, just publish a video. Which way? Just publish a video every single day.
That's it.
Which I had 2 months ago, but I let myself get complicated, and I just basically needed this conversation to realize, no, I was on the right track, and I need to just not let all the other stuff get in the way. I just need to, publish a video every day.
Yeah.
It's funny, because I had the same thought before we had this conversation. I was like, I am gonna write a piece of copy every day.
Cool.
And I was like, wait, how can, like, I can write every day, but like, I want to see the results from it, right? Like, I want to see if it works or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, how can I do that? I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start my own like deal site kind of thing, and I'm just gonna find products.
Nice.
And I'm just gonna be like, hey, can I write for you? And just give me a percentage of the sale. And I'll just try to do that every day.
That's a good idea.
Well, the other thing too with that, I mean, you can set up for like days where you don't have something set up. You can, set up your Amazon affiliate. I know it's much less margins, but if you don't have a deal, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to go find some cool toy or some cool gadget from Amazon, write a review on it, and then boom, there's my link. And who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and they'll go look at it, and then they'll go buy a $6,000 TV, and I'll get, percentage of that.
Right.
Yeah. Or you just like ask your kids like what their favorite toy is, and just be like, tell me why you love this toy. Yeah, you tell me why you love this toy, and just say like, this is what my kid told me, and write down the words he said exactly how he said it.
Right.
Like, record it and then rewrite it and say like, here's my kid's review. Parents would be like, that's fucking awesome. As I know, because I have kids and I'm a parent.
All right, guys. And the reason,
all right. So I'm sorry, man.
All right. Well, this is good, guys. No, it's fine. I don't want to continue. Or like we gotta go. We gotta let people go.
I like to thank Nick. I like to thank Nick Berry for watching us.
as large as possibly humanly possible. Just the idea of like my face on a 60-inch TV. Like, Nick, please, right now, while it's up, take a shot of this, please, and send it to me or post it on the group. I want to see my face, just like Mike Doyle's was a few weeks ago. I want to see my face on a 60-inch TV.
Yeah, dude. And just real quick though, like, can you guys think about how fast, like, Gideon, you had the idea to do this yesterday, and we just turned on record and did it. Right. So like, just remember that,
with everything
to get things done. Yeah, this wasn't perfect by any means. It's like almost an hour. It's almost an hour and a half long. You cut in and out, but you were like, I want to do this, and within 24 hours, we're doing it. So just like remember how fast shit can get done,
As long as we have Mike.
The more you know. All right, I'm gonna go now.
All right. I'm gonna hit stop broadcast in 2, 1.